and today I'm doing the Jane Austen Heroes book tag. This tag was created by Libraries and Labradors. I will leave a link to their channel and the original tag in the description so you can go over and subscribe to them. And please do subscribe to this channel and follow me on Goodreads and Storygraph and Instagram and all the places. And we're gonna dive straight into all of the prompts for this tag. Prompt number 1 is Mr. Darcy. Pick a book that you thought you wouldn't like, but you ended up loving. For this, I'm gonna choose A Spoonful of Time. This is about a Korean American girl who discovers that her grandmother has the ability to travel into the past. I ended up loving this book so much. In the first few chapters, I wasn't quite sure what direction the story was gonna take, and so I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. But by the time I got into the middle of this book, I was completely hooked and I super loved it. Prompt number 2 is Mr. Collins. Pick a book that you said no to, that you DNF'd. I DNF'd Goblin Mode. I thought that it would just be like a really cute and cozy book about not being perfectionist and just being messy sometimes. But it ended up being like a political statement. It was like a political manifesto disguised as a cute and cozy book. And I got so annoyed with all of the political comments that I just DNF'd it. Number 3 is Mr. Wickham. Pick a book with a misleading cover. That's so perfect for Mr. Wickham. For this, I picked the Faraway Tree series. For some reason, the Faraway Tree books by Enid Blyton just have really, really ugly covers. And the one that I have has this very ugly cover from like some 1970s cartoon or something, and I just hate those covers, but the books themselves are enchanting and lovely. Number 4 is Mr. Knightley, my favorite hero. Pick a childhood favorite that has stuck with you through thick and thin. I'm just gonna choose the obvious answer for this, Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I started reading these as a kid and I've read them almost every year. Even as an adult, I read them every other year. The Chronicles of Narnia just never gets old and it has stuck with me through thick and thin. Number 5 is Edward Ferrars. Pick a book that keeps coming back to your mind that you just can't stop thinking about. I recently reread Waverley by Sir Walter Scott, and it's been months and I just can't stop thinking about it. I love Waverley. It is my favorite book by Sir Walter Scott that I've read so far. And rereading it for the second or third time was just so satisfying and wonderful. Number 6, Willoughby. Pick a book that sounded so good but ended up disappointing you. For this, I'm gonna choose the Philosophy Resistance Squad. This looked like such a cool middle grade book, and the premise was really interesting about these kids that are being brainwashed at school. So the Philosophy Resistance Squad tries to resist that brainwashing, and it just sounded so neat. And then, the plot was just kind of meh. It was still a good story, but it just didn't quite live up to my expectations. And number 7 is Captain Wentworth, another favorite of mine. Pick an underrated book that deserves more love. Timothy Zahn is a very famous author, but one of his books that I never hear anybody talk about is the Dragonback series, starting with Dragon and Thief. I recently read the entire series this past year, and I super loved them. And people talk about Timothy Zahn, writing lots of different other sci-fi books. You never really hear people talk about this middle grade sci-fi series of his. So good. And that is the Jane Austen Heroes book tag. Please leave a comment and let me know what would you have answered for some of these questions and who is your favorite Jane Austen hero. Mine is Mr. Knightley forever. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.